Hello and welcome to another video trying to get you the top grades. Those of you who've been following my channel and perhaps read my revision guides will know that I tell students the marking of English, especially English language, is incredibly hit and miss. And that's not normally because markers are rubbish, it's because they're human, and the exam boards leave up to 8 marks leeway in a 24-mark question. And what that means is even when they've trained their examiners, they will find that they'll disagree by up to 8 marks on such a narrow question, 24 marks. Well, that has profound implications for your English papers, especially as both question 5s carry a lot of marks. So I opened up the Times Educational Supplement today, which is the main newspaper for teachers, to be greeted by this headline: Exam Board accused of betraying GCSE English pupils. And I thought, oh no. So my first instinct was despair, but the more I think about this, I think the better news it's going to be for you. So if you took the English exam, having followed my videos, I'm hoping this story suggests that you will do really well. So it refers to a senior grade examiner who's gone on Twitter to complain about the exam marking. The newspaper goes on to say the examiner identifies a particular problem with the creative writing question. So that is question 5 of paper 1, which is 25% of your whole mark for the GCSE. So it's question 5, paper 1, the description or the story, that's the problem. So let's read in a little bit more detail. This refers to standardization scripts, and what that means is the senior examiners choose what really good answers look like, and they photocopy those and give those to all the senior examiners. They don't give them millions, they give every examiner the same ones, just a few. And this examiner, the senior examiner, says the standardization scripts are all over the place. There was no debate at pre-standardization among the senior examiners. So they meet before everybody agrees what the exam marks are. And here they're supposed to discuss what marks they'd give, but apparently that did not happen. That means that the meeting where the standard is evaluated and agreed was a farce. We had examiners horrified at the standard. Okay, well, what was the problem with the standard? We find out here. It's because the top script in the standardization pack is, I can't read that or YouTube will smack me. They say, you would think it's clunky and mechanical, but we've been told it's full marks and there's no debate. So this is, I think, the really good news. Lots of teachers are teaching ways to get through the description question in a very clunky and mechanical way, chucking in loads of similes, lots of alliteration, a bit of metaphor, use of the senses and all that stuff. And it turns out that a fairly clunky one, that means it just feels like it's going through the motions, has still got full marks. Now the examiners, this one who's tweeted anyway because he's passionate about the subject, thinks that shouldn't get full marks. So it may be that you could have written quite a bad answer and still do well. However, it will also mean that if you've written a brilliant answer that isn't rubbish like the top script, some examiners might not give you the top mark. I think the opposite will happen. I think that it will obviously look better than the top script, and therefore you're very likely to get full marks. The examiners are going to be blown away. So my guess is, if you've been using my revision guides or my channel, where I've encouraged you to think about writing in a much less mechanical way, then I think you've got a much better chance of a higher grade even than in normal years. And if I reflect back to the videos that I've made even on how to cheat the description question, where you have camera angles that zoom in and zoom out, that will give you a method, all right, but it certainly won't feel mechanical and clunky. So I'm really optimistic for viewers of this channel that they're going to get really high marks. And the other reason that it's good news is, what if I am wrong? Well, if I'm wrong and you get lower marks, that's because the exam board have introduced this rogue top script as their model. Now, I always advise parents, if they've got the money, bear that in mind, if they've got the money, I always advise parents to appeal against the exam result if they don't think it's right, because it's really likely that you will have been marked wrongly in a normal year. Okay, there is a 48% chance, and this is using the exam board figures, there is a 48% chance of you being given the wrong mark. That's virtually a coin toss. It's virtually 50-50%. And that's in a normal year. This year, I think it's highly likely, if this examiner is correct, that lots of students will be given the wrong mark, and consequently, the exam board, AQA, is going to be under pressure to remark loads of scripts. So that, I think, is good news. You know, if you get your exam results back and you think this just doesn't seem right, or even this isn't the grade that I want, it's well worth appealing. The exam boards will always tell you there is a danger that your mark could go down. Okay, but given this story in the Times Educational Supplement, I think the chances of your mark going down are not that great. Obviously, I can't guarantee that, and that's going to be a decision for you. But as I say, I think this is good news. It means that if you don't get the grade you want, you should consider appealing. And if you've been watching my channel, I'm pretty sure that you will have done brilliantly. I'm really looking forward to the results, actually, because I think so many people have been posting comments about the exams, and despite the natural worry that we all have when we take an exam, lots of you have been paying real attention and are convinced that you've done your best. So let me know those results in August. Enjoy the summer and see you soon on my channel.